سعادة جمال بن حويرب المدير التنفيذي لمؤسسة محمد بن راشد آل مكتوم للمعرفة. أصحاب المعالي والسعادة، الحضور الكريم، نرحب بكم مجدداً في اليوم الثاني والأخير لقمة المعرفة في نسختها التاسعة. ويحفل اليوم بالكثير من الجلسات والفعاليات المعرفية الثرية.
Your Excellency Jamal bin Huwairab, CEO of the Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum Knowledge Foundation, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second and final day of the Knowledge Summit 2024, with a wealth of enriching and informative knowledge sessions awaiting you. Today, we embark on an exciting journey of exploring new knowledge horizons.
نبدأ فعاليات اليوم بجلسة بعنوان شراكة مؤسسة محمد بن راشد آل مكتوم للمعرفة وبرنامج الأمم المتحدة الإنمائي، تنمية المعرفة في المنطقة العربية وخارجها.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will begin today's program with a session titled UNDP and MBRF Partnership, Advancing Knowledge in the Arab States Region and Beyond.
يشارك في هذه الجلسة معالي الدكتور عبد الله الدردري الأمين العام المساعد للأمم المتحدة ومدير المكتب الإقليمي للدول العربية في برنامج الأمم المتحدة الإنمائي.
This session features His Excellency Dr. Abdullah Ad-Dardari, UN Assistant Secretary General and UNDP Director of the Regional Bureau for Arab States.
سعادة جمال بن حويرب المدير التنفيذي لمؤسسة محمد بن راشد آل مكتوم للمعرفة.
His Excellency Jamal bin Huwairab, CEO of the Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum Knowledge Foundation.
الدكتور هاني تركي رئيس المستشارين التقنيين ومدير مشروع المعرفة برنامج الأمم المتحدة الإنمائي.
Dr. Hani Turki, Chief Technical Advisor and Project Manager, Knowledge Project UNDP.
تدير هذه الجلسة ميسون نويهض مذيعة أخبار أولى في قناة العربية.
The session will be moderated by Maysoon Nawahid, presenter at the Al Arabiya TV. Please welcome on stage.
صباح الخير وأهلا فيكم بهذه الندوة في عالم
The world is going through crises and wars. Through the grace of God, we have Dubai and we have the Knowledge Summit that still believes that there's no future for coming generations without knowledge and science. And of course, partnerships that are being held between the Mohammed bin Rashid Knowledge Foundation. They do massive work with the UNDP, and we have this session that we hope that you're going to like. So welcome our esteemed guests, and we don't want to take longer, so we're going to start with you, Dr. Huwairab. As for this partnership between the Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum Knowledge Foundation and the UNDP, what could you tell us about its importance? First and foremost, thank you very much, our dear attendees. In the 9th edition of this Knowledge Summit, and I would like to thank you as well, Maysoon, for your continuous attendance. And I would like to thank Dr. Abdullah Dardari and extend my thanks to Dr. Hani and the United Nations team and the UNDP. And we have the UNESCO hall there as well for the 3rd conference for open data sources. And it's an important conference, and I would like to thank Coursera, our partners, in the other hall, that have also worked with us. These partnerships that we are ever so proud of, and or rather the first partnership that we are so proud of, is our partnership with the UNDP. Since 2007 up to this very moment, many years have passed, many projects, and mega achievements, the latest being the Future Skills Academy that we're going to discuss in depth. And this is an institute that has been wanted by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the Prime Minister of the country and ruler of Dubai, may God protect him. He wanted the Mohammed bin Rashid Knowledge Foundation to be in service of humanity. This is something that everyone is proud of for this development of knowledge. Dr. Dardari, as for the areas, what are these areas and fields that the UNDP considers essential to strengthen knowledge and skills for our Arab region, especially the partnership that has been touched upon by Dr. Huwairib? How can it be supported, and in which fields or areas? My lady, this project stems from the Knowledge Index, the international or the global international or the International Knowledge Index. It has a lot of inputs into it, or composed of a lot of inputs. It gave us an idea or the principle of countries' competitiveness and their chance in this competitive digital field requires skills that are usually unfound, not just in our region, but all over the world. Why? Because economical crises, maybe wars, or was it due for not developing them enough? Again, it's connected to the demand. What does the economies in our region demand? If we have, let's say, 1 million specialists in AI, how many economy in the region can actually absorb those 1 million skilled people? So within this economy, in this field, or when it comes to this topic, the structure of the economy and the demands for the skills is the thing that shapes what skills should be acquired. And it's on the low here, by the way. More than 60% of the total workforce in the region is an unskilled workforce and informal in its nature. So until the demand structure changes in the economy and they would require and request those skills, so we still have a long way ahead. That's why the index is of utmost importance. Within this context, Doctor, let's go to the specialist of this index, Dr. Hani Turki. Can you kindly provide us with the results of this index this year, and maybe also to give an idea to the attendees here about the challenges that you face when you work on this index? Firstly, thank you very much, Ms. Maysoon, and I would like to thank, firstly, His Excellency Huwairib and the Mohammed bin Rashid Foundation for their limitless support of this project. And I would like to thank also Mr. Dardari, who have supported us personally on this project every time. Before I start, I would like to state that this year in the UNDP, we've lost Khalid Abdel Shafi, who was our biggest supporter. He was deceased in May, and he left a vacancy or an empty space. So that was that was the biggest challenge that we faced this year. Another challenge that we face in the region, our team in Lebanon that has been transferred to Dubai to continue work, which is not an easy task to do. Also, another challenge that we faced, or a hurdle, that a lot of the variables that were available in research resources came to a stop, which is an important input for the international index. So we had to recalculate things to compare them with the results of last year. So that was an additional load on the shoulders of the team. Were these results this year satisfactory? Of course, they were satisfactory for some countries and unsatisfactory for others. So the team was able this year to increase the number of countries from 133 countries to 141 countries. So we added 8 additional countries for this index, and we hope in the upcoming update to cover as much countries as possible. So this is the future of knowledge. Some countries will change their positions along the list. Sweden took the first place. Switzerland, that was in the first position always, went back to the third position, followed by Denmark and Luxembourg. As for the Arab countries, the UAE is in first place, followed by Qatar, and then Saudi Arabia. And this was an expected sequence or listing, especially how IT is connected to economy, and because they focused on that's why they took these priority positions. So these are satisfactory results for our region. When you are just touching upon the UAE, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia, these are satisfactory results. You told us about the partnerships with the UNDP, and the most prominent of these projects is the Future Skills project. His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum would not accept anything except for the first place. And we seek, along with our wise leadership, that through the grace of God, that the UAE will be in the first position, God willing, in the upcoming years. Through a massive effort done by the UAE. Does the criteria, we have 7 criteria for the index, together with 155 variables, and they have to be studied. So every country has to study these variables and the changes, or rather the criteria and the variables, in order to increase their efficiency in pre-university education, university education, and afterwards. So the country, the United Arab Emirates, as well as some other Arab countries, they develop and increase the efficiency of governments, governmental institutions, and health, and others. However, most Arab countries don't do the same effort, and those who do, they don't update their data, or they keep it behind closed doors. So what happens? The indexes of this country are delayed, and this is the problem with Arab countries. We don't know where are the data, and once we do know where they are not updated accordingly. So when they are when we have an international indexes, whether they are innovation or knowledge, so these Arab countries are quite delayed in their criteria, and we have discussed a lot with Arab ministers and those who are interested and the officials in order to update, that they need to update this information so that this information would be new and updated, and at least to get better degrees. Or it's unlogical for a country to be in the 50th position and then they'll move to the 90th or 80th position within a few years, simply because they didn't update their information, and these information are simply refused or turned down, and the Arab countries' positioning is delayed. The most important thing that I have as an Arab is that all Arab countries to be competitive on the global stage, to compete for at least for the 50th first positions. However, to witness an Arabic country in the 90th or 100th position, it saddens me. And it breaks my heart, because at the end of the day, this country represents me. Because when I travel outside, nobody calls me an Emirati or a Syrian or a Lebanese. Simply, I'm an Arab. So I want Arab countries to compete for the first positions. but we don't know who updates this information. And if we do know that this information has been updated, they are kept behind closed doors and they're not disclosed. And I would like to add, the UAE is one of the few countries internationally, or globally speaking, that have an entity called the Competitiveness Authority that looks for indexes, updates its information, and that would require, so every Arab country requires an institution or an authority, an entity that is specialized in competitiveness and does that work. These institutions and authorities, as Dr. Huwairab states, are of utmost importance for the UNDP. So how do you work? Dr. Huwairab tells us that there's a delay, a slowness in providing the information for the index, at least reliable information. This is the reason why the Arab countries don't fill in or don't hold higher positions on the list. And especially when it comes to sustainable development, because this is the end goal development. From a technical aspect, we do work with statistical institutions all over the world. And we have technical support programs and to develop skills and development in general. So this is something that is happening. But I believe that the issue here is a bit deeper. We in the region have to believe in two main things. First, or essential things. First, the freedom of information, and to give place to the youth in knowledge, access to knowledge. This is not dangerous things and threatens us. It's the exact opposite. We wouldn't have a future. We will not have a future if the youth are not able to express themselves creatively. And that's why when we talk, when we discuss knowledge and the right planning based on the index and building and developing skills, which are the three areas that we're working with in this project. However, there's an essential condition that governments have to believe in free access to knowledge, because knowledge is a global public good. Dr. Huwairab is with you. Does the UAE, for example, believe in what has Dardari just told us? Do you give the freedom to access information and knowledge? The United Arab Emirates, all of its knowledge are of a global nature and are updated continuously. Why? Because the United Arab Emirates government, if they do not update this information and this figures, we will not be able to be in the top 400 indexes in the world. So we spend a lot on many areas in education, in communications and others. However, if you don't update this information, who's going to know that? Who? Nobody. You yourself, nobody is going to look at you unless you tell them to look at me, look at what I'm doing. So because of this transparency and spreading information and giving easy access to it, updating it, that's why we hold these top positions. Dr. Huwairab has told us about the importance of the Future Skills Academy. But there's another thing, the initiative of the Future Skills Initiative. What's the difference between the two? We started the skills thing and to fill in the skills gap some time ago. However, in 2021, we together with Coursera, we initiated or launched the Skills for Everybody initiative for more than 9 Arab countries to study the reality of skills in the Arab region by studying the case of 9 Arab countries. We have scanned more than 9,000 Arab citizens in the Arab world. We were able to provide them, and they fulfilled more than 15,000 educational programs with more than 115,000 work hours. Through that, we were able to understand what are the points of strength and our strength points and the main challenges that we faced. Some of the main challenges that we faced, that we work on skills post educational systems, so the gap is there, so that we had to communicate and be in touch with the academic world, the academics themselves, the universities and colleges, in order to eliminate and fill this gap. So we wanted the academy to be interconnected with the educational aspect of things and to develop the curriculums and the materials. So the importance of the academy and the initiative Future Skills. The Future Skills Academy is the development of the initiative Future Skills for Everyone. And His Excellency Huwairab told us after the United Nations meeting that there is a plan to develop the future skills of more than 1 million Arab citizens and we launched the first global alliance for skills. So we brought in content creators and decision makers together. For example, Cisco, DWC, Microsoft, Intel, Mohammed bin Zayed AI University, university or the Ministry of Higher Education in Egypt, all of them were present. All of these entities were there in order to create an alliance that can provide us with the required skills and to help us in content creation, as well as to reach the learners in the Arab region. These are quite encouraging news. Mohammed bin Rashid Foundation, without a doubt, does massive work in developing and spreading knowledge, and it's my honor always to follow up this development that you do in this summit. So we would like to know, in your partnership with the UNESCO, there's something of very important that's happening this year. This is the first, or rather the third edition of Open Resource Conference. I've visited the UNESCO and I've met Dr. Tawfiq Al-Jalasi, which is the General Director Assistant for Information and Communication, and he told me that that Brazil apologized from attending the conference, and he told me this was the educational data open conference, and I've been a supporter of this field for some time now, for quite a while. Yes, I do know. And we launched the Digital Information Center, where there are millions of open scientific sources for Arabs everywhere. And through the grace of God, we've reached more than 10 million educators. So I told them that we in Dubai, we are ready to host this event. And as you can see outside, they're here. And Her Highness Sheikh Khalifa has launched the Congress. The open educational resources. Maybe rich countries don't feel their importance because everything is accessible and available. However, most countries, developing and poor countries, this is a luxury that is not available. And if you don't have them, then education plummets down. So the UNESCO was keen, and it started pressuring the world in order to have open data resources to support these countries and help them. In the first and second editions of this conference, they discovered even rich countries require it and need it. And that's why this is a mission that is important for everyone, rather than being targeted to aid poor countries or developing countries. For me personally, education is a birthright for everyone. And educational resources are a birthright for everyone. It should not be sold. It should not be commercialized. It should be provided for free. And publishing houses that have these educational sources, they should find other revenue sources. And that's what I was told in the Frankfurt exhibition. I found a lot of titles as in open resources information. So I told them, how would you find your revenue? From where would you seek revenue? From other sources. So this is very important, Dr. Badri. The economical situation, we know, especially here in our region, we are going through a lot of crises and ongoing wars. There are genocides ongoing. And there is aggression happening on a massive scale, and that would have its utmost impact on education. You at the UNDP, how do you deal with these challenges, these economical challenges? Is there a recouping plan that would provide a light of hope for these countries to bring back knowledge, to develop it and to preserve it and protect it? Yesterday, I heard my colleague, Mr. Danny, telling us that around 35% of Arab youth are out of work, out of knowledge, and even out of skillful training. We're talking here, we're discussing tens of millions of people here, such a sad reality. So if we wonder where do conflicts come from, let's search into the root of the problem. Let's check this group. So fixing this situation is a major way to fix the economical situation of the region. You don't have a plan to solve this challenge? We are dealing with it today. And we have the regional recouping plan for the region that covers Syria, Iraq, Lebanon, and others. And we have also the a similar program in Sudan. So these recovery programs are a light of hope that there is a better tomorrow. And the knowledge index that we are dealing with, together with the Alliance and the Academy, would be the most important planning tools that would provide us with a glimpse of hope that the future should never be a repetition of the past. We have to develop knowledge-based societies that ensures the dignity and the birthrights of every human being in knowledge and others, in education others. Are we talking here about tangible, in the near future plans? Yes. So we have early recovery, which is in 3 to 5 years span. And also there's the societal transformation is not something that happens suddenly, but some countries had a total societal fabric collapse. So rebuilding them through these plans is the main assurance that would ensure that we don't go back to what we have lived in the past. I wish that I would go longer because this is such an interesting session. The last question that is of utmost importance for something that attracts all of us, the AI topic. I was with Sophia and I asked her, would you be in my place? I will not take your position. However, I'm going to be your assistant. Dr. Huwairib told me a bit of a sad news. Maybe they will replace you. So within this context, should we fear AI? This is the final question. As for me personally, we shouldn't fear AI. Well, maybe you can talk about yourself. AI will not replace people. However, individuals that are going to utilize AI will replace those who don't utilize AI. Universities that are going to utilize AI will have a footstep ahead of those who don't. So AI is a tool that we can shape to serve humanity and development. And we shouldn't fear it, because even if we fear it, regardless of our feelings, it is ongoing and will remain. So we have to use it according to our needs. So China and United States, both the Ching and Biden assured us that it will not replace humanity. We, the sons of and daughters of this region, we should not fear AI. And we shouldn't fear knowledge as well. More than 1,400 years ago, Ali ibn Abi Talib told us, everything would decrease when you use it, would deplete when you use it, except for knowledge. The more you use it, the more it increases. Water depletes, food depletes, resources depletes, except for knowledge. Mikhail Naima told us, the more knowledgeable I become, the more I am aware of how lacking I am. Yes, we should not fear knowledge. We should be looking forward. We should work together with AI and to empower the youth, because this is our slogan in the Arab region, knowledge always. Yesterday, Andrew was here. He is the third or the second expertise in the world when it comes to AI, and one of the founders of AI education. He told us that the UAE, he stated that the UAE is one of the most prominent countries in the world when it comes to expenditure and utilization of the of AI. And this is a statement by someone that we appreciate and honor. We feel that in the UAE, those who live here, it's been for 10 or more than 12 or 13 years, whenever we go to a bank branch, even for Visa, it's paperless. Everything is mobile, and it didn't take me more than 5 minutes. So thank you for your attendance, and we would like to thank our honored speakers, Dr. Huwairab Dardari and Dr. Hani. We hope that this session was able to answer a lot of your questions, and thank you so very much, and greetings. May you have a pleasant day.